In the day's other news, the Biden administration announced plans to reinstate the so-called Remain in Mexico policy for those seeking legal asylum in the U.S. as of Monday. President Biden had tried to end the Trump-era practice, but a federal court forced its reinstatement. Under an agreement with Mexico, U.S. officials will aim to process cases within 180 days and to ensure migrant safety. Congress moved today to try to avert a shutdown of the federal government one day before the deadline. The Democratic-led House of Representatives approved a bill to fund operations through mid-February. In the 50-50 Senate, party leaders backed the bill, but a group of Republicans demanded votes on COVID vaccine mandates. The arguments unfolded on the Senate floor.
There are a number of senators, including me, who are not inclined to give consent to expedite a funding measure that supports and funds President Biden's unconstitutional and sweeping vaccine mandate without holding a vote on that mandate.
Unfortunately, it seems Republican dysfunction could be a roadblock to averting an unnecessary and dangerous government shutdown. Democrats and most Republicans, including the Republican leader, have said they don't want to see a Republican shutdown. We hope cooler heads will prevail.
We'll return to this with the Senate's number 2 Democrat, Dick Durbin, after the news summary. Major League Baseball shut down overnight after the league's collective bargaining agreement expired. Team owners then locked out the players, forcing baseball's first work stoppage since 1995. The two sides have just over 2 months to try to hash out a deal before spring training begins in mid-February. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken sounded a new warning to Russia today to keep hands off Ukraine. He met with Russia's Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, in Stockholm amid a Russian military buildup along the Ukraine border.
We have a strong, ironclad commitment to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. The best way to avert a crisis is through diplomacy. But, and again, in the spirit of being clear and candid, which is the best thing to do, if Russia decides to pursue confrontation, there will be serious consequences.
In turn, Moscow warned that Ukraine's leaders are the ones making warlike moves. A Kremlin spokesman said that as a result, the possibility of hostilities remains high. Back in this country, a white former sheriff's deputy who killed a black man a year ago was charged with murder today in Columbus, Ohio. Jason Meade shot Casey Goodson Jr. 5 times in the back, touching off racial justice protests. Meade has since retired on disability. In economic news, Kellogg announced a tentative deal with 1,400 cereal plant workers after a strike that has lasted nearly 2 months. The new 5-year contract would include 3% raises and better benefits. Employees will vote on the contract this Sunday. OPEC and allied producers agreed today to keep raising oil output by modest amounts each month. That sent oil prices higher. And Wall Street staged a broad rally as well. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 617 points. That's nearly 2% to close at 34,639. The Nasdaq rose 127 points. The S&P 500 added 64. And the holiday season is officially underway in Washington with the 99th annual lighting of the National Christmas Tree. President and Mrs. Biden did the honors this evening in front of a lineup of musical performers. The tradition dates back to 1923. Still to come on the NewsHour, a potential government shutdown looms as Congress remains divided. A deadly shooting in Michigan underscores the ongoing issue of violence in schools. An exhibit by artist Sanford Biggers highlights the intersections of history and art, plus much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.